Walter the Baker by Eric Carle. Walter the Baker. Walter the Baker. For his mother and father, that's a dedication. Long ago, in a town encircled by a wall, lived Walter the Baker, his wife Anna, and their son, Walter Jr. Walter the Baker was known even outside the walls of the outside town. He was the best baker in the whole duchy. Early every morning, while everyone else was still asleep, Walter began baking his breads, rolls, cookies, tarts, and pies. You can see he has a cat right there. There's the oven. That's a brick oven. There's Walter the Baker. Look at all the breads and cookies and pies. Anna sold the baked goods in her store. No one could resist the warm, sweet smells drifting from Walter's bakery. People came from near and far. There's a line of people. There's Anna. All the baked goods. The Duke and Duchess who ruled over the duchy loved Walter's sweet rolls. Every morning, Walter Jr. carried a basket full of warm, sweet rolls to the castle where they lived. There's Walter Jr. carrying the basket to the castle. There's the castle. You can see the sun behind it. Said the Duchess, spreading quince jelly on her roll. Ah, said the Duke, putting honey on his. And each day was the same as the day before, until one early morning, when Walter's cat was chasing a mouse and tipped over the can of milk. "What will I do?" cried Walter. "I cannot make sweet rolls without fresh milk." In desperation, Walter grabbed a pitcher of water. "I hope nobody will notice the difference," he said, as he poured the water into the flour to make the dough. "Now, you and I may not be able to tell the difference between a roll made with water and one made with milk, but the Duke, and especially the Duchess, could tell the difference." "Ugh," said the Duchess, after she took one bite. "What is this?" roared the Duke. "Where is Walter the Baker? Bring him here at once." So Walter was brought before the Duke. "What do you call this?" roared the Duke. "This is not a roll. This is a stone." And with that he threw it at Walter's feet. "I used water instead of milk," Walter admitted, hanging his head in shame. "Pack your things and leave this town and my duchy forever," shouted the Duke. "I never want to see you again." "My Duke," pleaded Walter, "this is my home. Where will I go? Please give me one more chance, please." Look, he threw the roll at him. They don't look very happy. "I must banish you," said the Duke. But then he remembered Walter's good rolls and how much he and Duchess would miss them. "Well, Walter," said the Duke, started to say. Then he thought and thought some more. You may stay if you can invent a roll through which the rising sun can shine 3 times. And make it more difficult, he added. It must be made from 1 piece of dough. And most of all, it must taste good. Now go home and bring me some roll tomorrow morning. Poor Walter, worried and sad, he trudged back to his bakery. Walter worked all day and into the night. He made long rolls, short rolls, round rolls, twisted rolls. He made thin rolls, he made fat rolls, and he worked some more. Walter beat, pulled, and pushed, and pounded the dough. But it was all in vain. He could not come up with a roll that would please the Duke. By early morning, Walter had only 1 piece of dough left, and hopeless, he cried. In sudden fit of anger, he grabbed the last piece of dough, and he flung it against the ceiling. "Stick there!" he yelled at the dough, but it didn't. It fell, and twisted itself and dropped down and plopped into a pail of water. Anna and Walter Jr. were awakened by Walter's yell and rushed to the bakery just as Walter was about to dump out the water and twisted piece of dough. "Father, stop!" shouted Walter Jr. "Look!" And Anna quickly popped the dough in the hot oven. Soon it was brown and crisp. She took out the roll and handed it to Walter. It hadn't risen very high, but it had 3 holes. Walter held up the twisted roll and smiled. He saw that morning sun was shining through it 3 times. What is that? Look familiar? Walter put the roll in the basket and rushed to the castle to deliver his invitation to the Duke and Duchess, and they too saw the morning sun shining through it 3 times. Then the Duke and the Duchess sat and took a small bite. Walter was afraid to look because he had no idea how it would taste. "Well done," said the Duke. "Perfect," exclaimed the Duchess. Both were glad to see that Walter would not have to be sent away. And Walter was happy too. He could stay. "Now pray tell us, Walter, what do you call this?" said the Duke. "Ah, yes, pray us tell." Walter stammered. He tried to come up with a name. What was that? Pretzel, said the Duke. Pretzel it shall be. From now on, he declared, it shall be a sweet roll in the morning and pretzels in the afternoon, said the Duchess. Walter and to his bakery spent all day and night making pretzels. The next morning there were baskets of pretzels outside the store for the whole town to taste, and a special basket of pretzels for the Duke and Duchess, and a cheer went up for Walter and Pretzel Maker. Look, they're holding him up high. Very happy with the pretzels. There's the Duke, and there's the Duchess. He made everyone very happy. According to this, the word pretzel comes from the Latin word brachiotum, meaning arm. The pretzel was originally a simple bread eaten during Lent. Its shape is based on an ancient position for a prayer in which the arms were folded across the chest and the hands were placed on an opposite shoulder.